What's up, everybody? It's AJ with eTrailer.com. Today we're going to be checking out this Rhino Rack Vortex Roof Rack system on our 2021 Chevrolet Equinox. That's going to be a good option to help you carry things on your roof, so you can get like a bike rack, you can get a rooftop box, or a basket up there. That just gets some of the items out of your vehicle and up there, giving more space on the inside. Plus, sometimes you can carry stuff you don't really want in the vehicle. You can also get ski racks up here to carry your skis and snowboards. There's a ton of options to use with this roof rack system. Let's check it out. This is what they call a naked roof rack system. You can see the rubber pad here that's protecting your roof, and it conforms exactly to that roof, so you can see how nice it fits on there. Then you got the clamp that comes down here in the door jamb. Now it's got a rubberized inside, so it's not going to scratch anything up, and that's really tight. I can shake the whole car back and forth. You see no movement, you don't hear any sounds or anything like that, so you know it's really nice and tight. Doesn't get in the way of closing your door. You can see the weather strip goes down around it a little bit, but this is your option if your vehicle doesn't have raised rails or attaching points in it. You have to add this on. You'll measure it out via the instructions, and that's how you get them installed. Up here we have the aero bars. These are made out of aluminum, and they have a T-track on top, so you can peel this back, or I guess when you get your accessories, you can cut it to length if you're using the same one all the time, when you don't have these cut. But when you peel it out, you can remove this end and then slide the T-track accessories in there. So if you have a bike, then you can have a clamp around. They got a locking cover. That way nobody can tamper with it when you're not around. And this is the clamp and how it attaches. You screw this in with the included tool. We'll come up here and get it nice and tight, and that's what pulls this clamp up to the door jamb. That way it holds it in place and keeps it on there nice and tight. I really like that it has the included keys for the caps. That way, like I kind of said earlier, it locks it up, it keeps people with messing with it. That way it stays nice and tight. Also up here, the end caps have a little key. Let me grab that. You can unlock, so you can remove it and have easier access to that strip up top. That way, if you have your T-track in there, you can get it set, put this on the end, lock it up, and again, people can't mess with whatever you put up on your roof rack. Now let's get some measurements. Let's go from the top of the roof to the top of the bar. It seems to be about 5 inches, so that's how much space you have to work with there. The spread of it is going to be 27 9/16 inches. And the bars themselves are 49 inches long. So you have that kind of space to work with when you have to decide, like, you know, you can put a bike rack on this side, maybe put a kayak carrier on the other side, or a rooftop box will probably take up most of your space. Sometimes if they're the slimmer ones, you can fit a bike rack on the other side. So just, you know, look at the accessories you have. These are the dimensions you have to work with. Now overall, they have a weight capacity of 165 pounds. So make sure when you're loading up, just stay under that. That way you don't stress out your bars or your roof. So overall, those are all the features of the roof rack system, but that doesn't mean much if it's hard to install. Luckily, it's not. Just read the instructions and check out how I got them on here. All right, I got all the parts laid out on the table. I'm going to go step by step on how to get this assembled. We already put one on the car already. So first, we'll start with the feet. You got the plastic part with the rubber pad. That's going to sit on the vehicle and protect it from getting scratched. Make sure you match up the arrows. They're pointing the same way. They're going to be pointing out from the vehicle. So see, there's that arrow. Flip it that way. It's facing the same way. You just push these together. You'll hear them snap into place and kind of feel them pop in there. Just set it aside. I'll do the same thing for the other side. All right, cool. So now, we'll grab the legs and start on that. We'll use the key to take out that front part so it's a little easier to see. You'll see the clamps here. I'm going to grab into this. I'm going to make sure once again that the arrows are pointing out. So they're going to be pointing out towards the open area. And just push it in. I'll try and do it so you can see it the best. You can see how it goes in there. Snaps into place. Now it's attached. I'm going to repeat that for the other one. Okay. Now I'm going to flip the bar over. Remove the end caps. You got your special key that it came with. Let's twist and pull that off. And depending on how tight these are, you got the T-track here, which is going to slide in. It's pretty tight, so we're going to go ahead and take our tool and loosen that up a little bit so there's some space between. There you go. Now it's got a little bit more space there. You can actually slide into the bar. Make sure the square goes in there nice and even, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and put the end cap back on. That's just going to help hold it in place. Do the same thing on the other side. Now we're going to get a measurement before we load it up. Sometimes they have the built-in strips that have the measurements here, but since we don't have that, we've used these bars quite a bit. We're going to just measure it out and see exactly how far apart they need to be so that when we set it on the roof, it's right. If you look at the rubber pad here on the foot, you can see that there's two different numbers on each one, and that's just going to indicate which one needs to be on which side. Make sure you check your directions and have them on the right side. This one's M414. The one on the other side is M415. So that just tells you where they need to be. Make sure you check your instructions and get those right. Your pad, these are going to be different too for the front and the back, but we already looked at the instructions, so we know that these are the rear ones with these numbers that are going to have different numbers in the front. So just remember that for your clamps and your rubber pads. Now, we need to measure out how far this goes. So we need to be 15.7. So I'm going to line it up with the end of this channel here. Looks like right there. Looks good right there. Put that in place. I can come back with the tool and tighten this down. That way it stays in place when we go to set it on the roof. Now we're going to set it on the roof. You see, as you set it down, this rubber pads conforms exactly to your roof. It's got a little bit of drop off and a gap here. It fills that in really nicely, so you know it is really custom for your vehicle. And now we need to get a measurement. The measurement we need is 27 9/16 from the center of this one to the center of this bar. I'm going to use this soft tape measure to see where we're at. It looks like we're pretty close. Let's move this a little bit over. It's nice that it's got those arrows on there. You can kind of use that as a center for your measurement. Back just a little bit more. Right there looks pretty good. So with that in place, we can add the clamps. To add the clamps, we'll go ahead and use our tool to loosen this bolt. And we'll feed it through the clamp and put it back in there. Now this does move a little bit. This one seems not as easy as the other ones we use. Sometimes when you use them over and over, they move pretty easily. That one seems like it's going to stay in place for you. You just line it up and start to screw it in. Looks like it lined up pretty good. I'm going to wait to start to get a little tight, then I'll jump on the other side. You want to make sure you tighten these up evenly. The clamps also have rubber padding on the side that's touching the vehicle, so don't be worried about it scratching or anything when you tighten it down really good. Good indication that it's tight. As you can see, the tool you get has a little curve to it. If you use your hand like this, and if that comes completely straight, like it is, that means it's plenty tight and you're good. I can shake the whole car with it. You can see there's no movement whatsoever in the base or at the clamp area. So you're ready to hit the road. So we'll just go ahead and replace the cap, lock it up, and you're good. All in all, it's not that bad. It can be a little bit overwhelming at first when you look at the directions. I know I definitely had to read it a couple times through, be like, so it goes where? But it's all right. Once you get going, you can watch me do it and go along with me. That'll probably make it way easier to see somebody else doing it. It wasn't that bad as you saw me do. You just kind of clamp some things together. You really only need that one tool to tighten things down. It was easy to get up on the roof and measure it out. No big deal. And I like how tight it is on there. I can shake the whole car. There's no movement whatsoever, so I know it's going to stay on the roof, whatever I put on the roof, on my whole journey. Well, thanks for hanging out, and I hope this helped.